Spotted at Grand Central, bags in hand, Serena Vanderwoodson.
I was coming off the end of the OC and had very little interest in doing another teen drama. And then I got sent the first book in the Gossip Girl book series. And I was like, I may not be ready to leave high school after all.
Don't ever go to high school, Dorota. The girls are spoiled, stupid, and ungrateful.
Stephanie Savage is one of the smartest, most talented people I've ever met. And she got really excited about it as well. And we were off to the races.
The setting in New York City, in this elite Upper East Side society, that's for sure a world that is really alluring.
Are you following us or something?
No, I go to your school.
The books really laid it out very well. They're juicy and salacious and fun, and everything is said with a bit of a wink.
What's that, your stripper money?
Sex and the City had gone off the air. There was really nothing on TV that had that romantic version of New York, and I really missed that just as a fan. And then, of course, the anonymous online blogger who was watching everybody's moves and reporting it.
Is that true?
What, you were in jail?
That was something that felt like it was a real hook to the show.
And who am I? That's one secret I'll never tell.
When Cecily wrote the books in 2002, Perez Hilton and TMZ didn't even exist, so she had really kind of imagined something that ultimately came to pass.
My God, you'll never believe what's on Gossip Girl. Someone saw Serena getting off the train at Grand Central.
The tagline for the first season was, "You're nobody until you're talked about." It definitely was ahead of the trend.
The lives that these kids were living was so fascinating that there was a website devoted to them that they had to read endlessly. And I think it just really captured the moment of the world we were in. It was really important to us that we actually shoot the show in New York. That's the thing they say about New York, is you point the camera in any direction and it looks good. Not to mention just the authenticity.
Hey, Serena, why don't you get a room?
Well, that's the plight of the Manhattan teenager. No cars.
A lot of shows are based in New York, but film in LA, and so you don't get the magic of walking down, you know, a street in Soho and seeing all the things happening and the cabs going around in the background. It's very much one of the most important elements of the show.
Dan! Oh my God, this is what I love about this city. You're always bumping into people.
Stephanie went and kind of immersed herself in the girls' prep school world.
I stayed at the Carlisle Hotel and I did research, talking to about a dozen girls, asking them questions about their lives.
I reviewed your record. If Constance has a shining star, it's Blair Waldorf.
I know. I'm the perfect one.
Stephanie is so involved in every single detail. She typed out her own little essays of girls who lived on the Upper East Side, and they were even more wild than the books.
I've been drinking on an empty stomach.
I heard you didn't do that anymore.
Special occasion.
I don't know exactly how I tune in to that kind of upbringing or lifestyle, because that's not how I was raised at all. I'm from South Florida. That's not what it's like.
Oh, I cannot believe that Daddy decided to stay with Ramon instead of having Teetha Carlisle with me.
It was taking people into a rarefied world, and a world that is seductive but also problematic.
So you're actually hiding him?
He tries to take his own life, and you're worried it's gonna cost you Mom of the Year?
Serena, as happy as I am to have you home, you have no idea what it's been like.
We really wanted this idea of like family and relationships, all these things that are so universal to any coming of age story, to be true here.
We deal with the same things at the end of the day.
At first, we didn't have a lot of access in New York City. It was like, well, what is this show? I don't know. But very, very quickly, I think people recognized that if you were on the show, it was a good thing.
Welcome all to the McKittrick Hotel.
At the beginning, that was great because every new location was somewhere, you know, we hadn't maybe seen before. Back room of some cool bar, you know, and I want to come back here.
We always saw the show as a real love letter to New York City. Now there are Gossip Girl tours of New York City where you go by the locations that the characters visited.
When Mayor Bloomberg was here, I was like, oh my God, that's amazing.
Therefore, I, Michael R. Bloomberg, Mayor of the City of New York, the hero of the claim, Thursday, January 26, 2012, in the city of New York as Gossip Girl Day. Congratulations. XOXO.
It's been everything we hoped it would be.
Without it kind of sounding arrogant or anything, it's like the show's become one of the things that tourists like to come to New York for. And I just find that remarkable, you know. Because in the beginning you have no idea or expectations that large, because you can't really, you know.
All right, Dan, Jenny, Humphrey, Huck, Eric and Lily, get in here too.
When's the party?
Saturday. And you're kind of not invited.
Josh and I are psychos about casting, and we really did feel with Gossip Girl that we had something special.
At the time, I was living in LA, and I was auditioning every single day for pilots, and automatically I was like, I love Blair, I want to play that character. So I auditioned for it probably like 20 times.
It was like probably my number 4 read. Wow. I kind of sit in this little swivel chair, and this girl just kind of swivels around, like cute as a button, and it was late.
Thank you.
And she had the headband, and she just was like, hi. And I'm like, if this girl can act, she's got the part.
Break a leg.
I think I just did.
More than anything, I just wanted to work. I could have never expected that I would be able to play a character for 6 years that's so well-written and really challenging and great.
We really believed in all the various pairings, the chemistry, and that, Blair and Serena feel like best friends.
I still miss Dan sometimes. The only thing lamer than dating Dan Humphrey is mourning Dan Humphrey.
The Humphrey family, we felt, had this great, warm chemistry.
She might be a tad overwhelmed by the glitz and the glamour of the Humphrey lifestyle.
Nate Archibald is this kind of lost, rich kid.
Do you ever feel like our whole lives have been planned out for us?
And, Chuck Bass, who at the time was pure villainy.
I love freshmen. Anything about her on Gossip Girl?
Nah, until you're done with her.
When we shot the pilot, we all lived in the same hotel together for those few weeks. And New York City, it was the most incredible place in the world.
It was a fantastic feeling, because everybody felt equally as excited and probably a bit nervous. You felt like you were kind of thrown into something together. It basically is like the best of all possible excuses to be in New York and live in New York.
It was so fun to see these kids who kind of showed up in like their Uggs and their hoodies figure out this world.
We're shooting at the Palace Hotel. Nobody really cares. No one's stopping to watch.
I remember it was such a difference, like the day after the show had premiered. And then suddenly, there were people standing around kind of watching, and we were like, oh, this is cool.
There was, a fair amount of press and expectations, and we didn't do that well. 13 episodes into our order, the writer's strike hit, and, all production stopped.
Everything was repeating, and a lot of people watched Gossip Girl in repeats.
We're actually trying to work things out. Today's our first day hanging out together alone.
We actually came back with a great audience and sort of wider interest than we had when we started, because that sort of addictive quality of the show had kind of kicked in.
Please welcome Blake Lively.
Gossip Girl was invited to do a panel at the Paley Festival that first year, and that felt really great. It felt like they had caught on that there was something about the show that audiences were really reacting to.
Then you were like, okay, if the wheels don't come off of this train, we're gonna be fine. And it kept going.
Every time we got renewed for another season, it was selfish personally, because we thought, yes, we get to live in New York another year, we get to get paid for it, don't tell.
I think at first critics were kind of like, this is a silly show about teenagers, but then the people who are actually from that world kind of validated it and embraced it, and it kind of forced people to take a second look.
I'm really happy to be here with you right now.
Nobody's ever looked at me the way you just did.